I'd like to demonstrate for you today a kit created by the Fabric Hut called Brick Player. It is a totally pre-cut kit. Everything is ready to go, and I'm going to just show you first of all what is in the kit. When you order this kit, you will get a pattern called Brick Player. It's for a quilt that's 60 inches by 72 inches, and it includes all of the fabric for the quilt top, the binding, as well as the backing, which is really unusual for a quilt. So you can see the pattern is very cute. It's beautiful floral fabrics, and if you take a look at the fabrics that come with the kit, they are perfectly die cut, so there is no room for error here. If you watch the tutorial and learn how to sew your 1/4 inch seam exactly, and learn how to nest those seams. That is the key to creating this quilt. So I'm going to help you with that. If you take a look at the stack of pre-cut rectangles, you can see the fabrics. They are so pretty, and this is going to make such a beautiful spring-like quilt. We have the rectangles, we have the white squares, again all pre-cut, and then we have the strips, the width of fabric strips that will also be used in the pattern. In addition to that, we will have all of the backing fabric that you're going to use in this kit. Let's just walk through the pattern quickly before we begin putting the quilt together. The name of the pattern is Brick Player, and this is the layout that you will be sewing those squares and rectangles to create. Again, our quilt size is 60 by 72. It's a very simple pattern, goes together quickly. All you need to do is follow these easy instructions, and again, I will give you some tips to help you create this quilt in such a way that everything will be nested properly and you will have accurate intersections and accurate 1/4 inch seams. That is the key to making this quilt look good. We're going to go through the assembly of the rows and then the assembly of the quilt top. So let's get started. Okay, let's put together our Brick Player quilt top. The first thing we're going to do, I'm going to tell you why I really enjoyed piecing this quilt. It's because all of the squares are die cut. As I said, they are all exactly the same. As long as you piece an accurate 1/4 inch seam everywhere you sew 2 squares together or 2 rows together or 2 sections together, you are going to have a perfect quilt top. The key is a consistent 1/4 inch seam. Secondly, this quilt goes together quickly. I timed my piecing, and it took me 5 minutes to put together a row, and then it took me 5 minutes to add 1 row to the next row. So to put together 2 rows, because you're going to sew these together in pairs of rows. All totaled, adding in, changing your bobbins, maybe if you've made a mistake you have to rip out. In 8 hours, you can easily have this quilt top pieced together and ready for quilting. And I love that. It's fast, it's mindless, it goes together quickly, and it makes a really pretty quilt. A couple of notes on the pattern. This is the initial instructions that I received when I was testing this for the tutorial. This particular graphic shows 25 rows. There are not 25 rows. There are only 24 rows as indicated in the pattern. This row should not be there. The quilt top begins with a rectangle and then it has 24 rows. So do not piece it according to this graphic, but rather follow the instructions in the pattern. In addition, points 3 and 4 on the pattern are incorrect. They're not necessary, so please follow the instructions here if you have the pattern that has these points listed on here. I have a way that you put it together much easier, and it goes together in a snap. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to make the pairs that you'll need for this quilt top. There are 96 pairs. So you're going to sew together a rectangle and a square, chain piece them, which means that you sew this together and then feed the next 2 pieces into your machine without cutting your threads. Just continue chain piecing them until you have 96 pairs. Now if you want to cut it back and only do a row at a time, that would be 7 pairs. You can do that as well. But sometimes just piecing all of those together and then pressing them toward the white square is going to save you some time as you piece the rows together. So my suggestion would be to piece all 96 pairs together, a rectangle plus a square, and press each one toward the white square. So using our fabric as an example here, this is our rectangle, this is our square. I am going to piece 7 together for a row. If you don't want to piece all 96 together, if that's too cumbersome for you, you can just do a row at a time or 2 rows at a time, whatever you like. Sew right sides together. You can't really tell with this because it's just a solid, but you're going to put right sides together, sew a 1/4 inch seam. Then you will feed your next piece into your machine, right sides together. You don't really need to pin, it's a short seam. And then this is going to follow 1/4 inch seam, and just continue that as long as you want to make as many pairs as you want, and then you will press toward the white square. So I have chain pieced all of the pairs that I need for 1 row, which would be 7. I'm going to use my thread cutter. As you can see, they're all hooked together still. So all you do with this is you just go through and you cut your threads. It works really fast. If you did all 96 pairs, this goes together quickly. And then we are going to press all of them toward the white square, which means that you're going to have the white square on the top on your pressing surface, and then press in this direction. You want to use some pressing solution on this just to make sure that they lay nice and flat so that when you sew your rows together, everything matches nicely. So go ahead and press all of your pairs toward the white square. If you just want to do a row at a time, you'll press 7. If you want to do all of them at one time, you'll press 96. I have sewn all of my pairs together for 1 row, separated them out. So I just want to make sure that I have my fabric pieces so that I have different fabrics that are going to be chained next to each other in the brick layout. So what we'll do is, we've got our 7 pieces. All of our rows, all 24 rows, are going to begin with a rectangle. We are going to sew them together, one after the other until we get 7. So we're going to do right sides together, and you want to line up your pieces so that it doesn't start to get skewed. That's important. So I like to do them in pairs. 2, 2, 2, and then add the 7th one on the end of the 3rd set. So if we go ahead and sew these together, I'm going to sew this one together. I'm going to sew this one together. And if you want to put a little pin in there just so you remember which side to sew, you can do that. Again, it's a short seam, so you really don't need to pin the whole seam, but you do want to make sure that you're sewing the right one together. So we've got that one, and then our last one. Again, rectangle on this side. And we've got 1 left over because it's 7. So we're going to add this one to the end of that 3rd set of 2 pairs. Now go ahead and sew all of these seams. Once you've done that, you're going to add each piece to make a row of 7. So go ahead and sew those together. I have sewn all 24 rows together. I have pressed them all, beginning with the rectangle toward the right. Okay, all 24 rows. Now, when we assemble these, we're going to assemble our rows in pairs. Row 1 plus row 2, 3 plus 4, 5 plus 6, and so on. So we want to make sure that we have these nesting together, and they are going to give that brick-like pattern. So our even number of rows are going to be flipped this way, and that's how they're going to go together. Now you can see that where these intersections are at the end of each pair, even though they've been flipped, they have this seam is going this direction, this seam is going this direction. What does that do? That allows us to nest the seams together by placing, you can feel it. When you push them together, you can feel that flat seam there. If you feel a bubble, then you know that the seams are on top of each other. If you feel a space, you know they're too far apart. You want to make sure that they are nested nicely when you put them together. Okay, so now I can feel that. Now here's the key. When you sew these together, you're going to diagonally pin this seam. So you're going to place your pin to the right of the seam, and then it's going to come out to the left. You're going to do the same thing in this direction, to the left of the seam, and it's going to come out on the right. Once you do that, when you approach this, you pull your pins out, those seams are going to stay locked in place. The other thing that this does is sometimes when we sew, we have an issue with this flipping in this direction, and you've got that anchored down, so that's not going to happen. So here we go. Then I pin all along the way. This seam, since that's going to be hidden, I put a pin in it just to keep it laying flat. I'm going to do the same thing as I go along. Here's another seam that needs to be nested, our second one. Put it together. Make sure that you have that flat feel to it. We're going to place a pin to the right of the seam, comes out to the left. Sometimes you can get by without using two pins. I've been able to do that as well. The two pins really help to anchor this piece down, but sometimes the way that I've positioned that pin, it anchors it down. So whatever works for you. You can do two pins, you can do one, it's totally up to you. And just go ahead and do that for the whole row. It doesn't take that much time to do it, and it is totally worth it when you do that, because you are going to have beautiful nested intersections that have no gaps in them at all. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. Eventually it's going to be pretty easy. You'll just go along and you go quickly and you'll know which ones you need to do. So go ahead and do that, and then sew a 1/4 inch all the way along this edge, and you're going to press toward the newly added strip. So you're going to go ahead and create 12 pairs. You're going to be sewing together pairs of strips. Remember to follow the instructions exactly as I said. When you flip that second row, the 4th row, the 6th row, the 8th row, it's going to make a huge difference. You'll sew those together, and then once you've done that and pressed toward the newly added strip, all you have to do is connect those pairs together. You're going to have 6 pairs for the top half of the quilt, 6 pairs for the bottom half of the quilt, and then sew all the pairs together, the top and the bottom, to create your quilt top. Now that we've finished our quilt top, let's review what we've done so far. First of all, we have sewn together 24 rows, and each row contains 7 pairs, each pair being made up of 1 rectangle and 1 square. Then we sew all the rows together in pairs. So we have 12 pairs of rows, which we then sew together to create our quilt top. We are now ready to quilt and bind. One thing that I want to draw your attention to is I really find that it's best to sew around the perimeter of the quilt, just about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. This secures the stitching at the ends of the rows before quilting, so you don't have them coming apart. Sandwich your quilt together. That means that you put your backing, your batting, and your quilt top together. And then quilt and bind, and your brick player quilt is finished. Enjoy.